Welcome to the Work, Wealth, and Travel podcast. I'm your host, Nicole, and this podcast is your guide to start creating a lifestyle by design. From entrepreneurship, money and finance, taxes and residencies, and everything in between, this show highlights the nuances of a true global citizen lifestyle. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the show. So, in today's episode, I'm heading to my phone because I'm going to chat, and I have made a YouTube video about this as well, but I get quite a few questions about what I use to receive SMS codes, bank codes, like all of the things when I am abroad and what my strategy looks like. So I'm going to dive into that in today's solo episode. First of all, it's so interesting to me. I've received multiple emails and comments, messages, whatnot, of people saying that they don't want to move abroad. And they have a few reasons, but surprisingly, to me, surprisingly, the phone and not knowing where to receive, banking, SMS, and whatnot is one of the biggest factors that is holding them back. And in my mind, if that is a factor that is holding you back, it definitely should not be, because that is such a small thing in this whole game of optimizing your lifestyle. So, in the spirit of that, to hopefully get you inspired, if that is you, or if you're like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. My Rogers or AT&T or whatever super high charging phone company in the country that you live in is going to charge me so much money for roaming and for all these fees, and like I have all my bank accounts set up with this number and I won't receive SMS, so I don't know what to do." We're going to dive into it today. All right. So, I'm heading to my phone. So I've tried two apps. The first one is called, they're very similar names. So the first one is Text Now, and it's actually a Canadian company, and I use it for years. It's pretty low cost. Most of these are like $10 or $15 a month. It actually used to be way, way cheaper, this one. But of course, they have increased the price. So get on it now if you are interested. But Text Now is the one I used for so long. Unfortunately, it is only really available in Canada and America. So I actually used it abroad for like a year and a half, quite honestly. But at a certain point, I think I had my VPN on my phone on when I was also using it. And they must have not liked that. And they automatically just locked me out. And I think I have to like contact the engineering team if I want to get it reinstalled, but I have to be back in Canada. So who knows when that will happen. So if you are looking for Canadian American phone number, and those are the only countries that you're gonna be in, then TextNow is a good option. But I actually, I recommend another one, and it took me so much trial and error to find this app. I think I downloaded every single possible app that was on the App Store, and I was testing them all. I was seeing the price points. I was seeing how well they worked. I wanted various different countries' phone numbers, but I also wanted the ability to get SMS from anywhere. Because even with text, which one was it? Text Now, the one I was just mentioning. Even with that one, I would say 95% of the time I would receive the SMS code for verification purposes. But there was that 5% where it just would not come through. So I found another alternative. I have been using it for like 6 months probably now. So it's definitely been a while. I have received literally every single SMS code that I have needed to. It's been awesome. I also, in the past, I did use, what is it called? Like text something. You know, the online phone numbers, and it's like one country and there's like 5 phone numbers, and then you can enter that phone number, and a bunch of other people online are using it too, and it'll give you the code through the internet. I've used those before, but they're not super secure, especially obviously if you're doing banking and whatnot. It's kind of just like a good one-time thing. But a lot of these numbers, unfortunately, you're going to need them more than one time to log in. So you really want something that's dedicated and that is your own. So the one that I use now is called Text Me. So not Text Now. The one before was Text Now. This one is Text Me. It's blue. It is so good. I think it's like $10 or $15 a month, and you can get phone numbers. Okay, so here are all the countries. I'm looking at it right now. The US, the UK, Canada. You can also get phone numbers: Australia, Austria, Belgium, Brazil, Colombia, Czech Republic, Finland, Indonesia, Mauritius, Netherlands, Poland, and Sweden. So I have, I think, 2 numbers right now. I had 3 at one point. I had a European number, and for Europe, I believe it was a French number. So I don't know about the other countries in Europe, but I'm sure it's the same. I didn't try the other ones, but they will ask you to verify your ID and your face and kind of all of that. So if you don't want that, sign up with Canada and the US. I know for sure that those 2 do not offer that, at least right now, unless the policies change. But as of beginning of 2024, that is the way it is. It is such a amazing find. I'm so happy I tested literally every single text app. Text me if you are looking for alternatives. This is the one that you're going to want to use. And like I said, I have 2 numbers, so I pay for 2 numbers every single month. So worth it in my opinion. And they also have really great support, which is nice. It's email support, but they get back to you pretty quickly if you do have any questions. Of course, the annoying part of doing this is that you will need to actually go in and change all of the phone numbers. And I highly recommend doing that before you get locked out for whatever reason. I've had that happen multiple times when I've been abroad, and you get locked out, and then they have your old number on file and not your new number, and you have to contact security, and then sometimes you have to verify your ID and all this super frustrating process that I know it is a bit tedious, but once you get the phone number, once you're paying for it monthly, just go into your banks, all of the apps that are linked to your phone number, and connect your new phone number. Like I said, I have not had a single platform. I'm just thinking, single platform, single app, like nothing that has not had the verification SMS go through. You can also do free phone calls and texts. So at least for Canada and America, you can do free phone calls for those countries. Mhm. For Canada, you might be able to also do, I think, free phone calls to America and potentially vice versa because the country code is +1 for both of those. So, I know in text now you can do the first app I was talking about. You do have free calling for Canada and for America. I believe it is the same with Text Me, the one that I use now, but I am not positive. But I know within the country you do have completely unlimited and free phone calling. And I don't know who is SMSing anymore, but if you want that option, you do have that option. So super nice, super convenient. Always worked for me, really handy. Of course, there's no data. If you are looking for data, I use GlocalMe. It's like a portable Wi-Fi. I also use Arlo. I don't know how to say it. Pretty popular. And then another good one that I use is called Red Go, and Red T Go, kind of like 3 words, but it's 1 word. And that one is also pretty good. I find the pricing for Arlo, I don't know, and Red Tigo are basically they're very competitive pricing. So that's what I use for eSIM, although I don't use the eSIM too much, quite honestly. Um, and then so I have those phone numbers, and then every country I have residency in, I also have a phone number set up there just to establish some more ties in that country. And I recommend if you are getting residency to definitely do that as well. You wanna have a few more ties back to that country, even if you're not, especially actually if you're not living there full time. So I like to have that. Of course, I don't really use the data or anything like that for those phone plans when I'm not in that country, but I do have that phone number available sometimes I will say, not many times. I wanna say like less than 5 in the last 6, 8 months, something like that. I have had it where it says it won't accept my phone number because it knows that it is like a VoIP phone number. So that is important to note that sometimes it won't work, and it's not the SMS can't go through, it's just it knows that it is a app phone number, not a real phone number. So in that case, I always do recommend wherever you have residency or wherever you're living to have a real phone number in that country just for that purpose alone. But I hope this episode helped you. This is how I optimize my phone number situation, which I know is a huge freaking hassle for so many people. So that is what I do. If you have any questions, my links are below. If you're interested in learning more about obtaining multiple residencies, citizenships, global diversification, tax optimization around the globe, real estate, investing in different and emerging markets around the globe, and potential banking options, All of those things are what I do as a global citizen strategist. So reach out to me below. I do have a 15-minute discovery call if you want to chat and see if what you are interested in is something that I could help with. So thank you for joining me here in this episode, and I will see you in the next episode. You've just listened to the Work, Wealth, and Travel podcast. If anything from this episode resonated with you, I would appreciate if you share this podcast on your socials. And of course, be sure to tag me. And don't forget to leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Thank you for joining me on this global citizen journey, and I'll see you in the next episode.